Go.
Welcome to Between Two Balls.
That's right. You are now between two balls, and we're going to be talking some ball.
All right.
Every
let's get
Sunday,
started.
dropping Monday. My name's Luke. I'll let everyone else introduce themselves as well.
I'll start off. Name's Temp. That's what I'm going by. You guys all know me as the most intellectual Yankee fan in here. So I'll take it away to the Red Sox fan in chat.
Well, you are the only Yankees fan in here, so by default, you are the most intellectual. For Yankees fans, not everyone, that's for sure. But all right, my name's
Well, it sounds like you
Logan.
slipped right there.
My name's Logan. I'm a Red Sox fan, obviously. And yeah, I'll send that off to D Powell.
Name's Derek, also Padre fan, also the most experienced ball knower on this podcast.
That's a stretch.
So we're outnumbered, 2 Padre fans against a Yankee and a Red Sox fan. I think that's a fair fight, but you guys might need to add someone else too. Another Padre fan might tip it.
Bring in a guest.
I don't need a guess. It's all up here.
All right. We'll start it off. Just going to give a little rundown of where the MLB sits at May 5th of the 2024 season. The NL West, to no surprise, Dodgers are in first. They had a slow start to April, but they've been really kicking it up. Winners of the last 8 out of their last 10 on a 4-game win streak. Just swept the Braves. Pretty notable. Especially considering the Padres have taken 2 series or 1 series for them and split with them already this year. So they're in first, Padres second, Giants third, tied with the Diamondbacks, or half game behind in front of the Diamondbacks. And then the Rockies, they're the Rockies. Nothing to expect there. Moving to the Central. Been a fight between the Brewers and Cubs. They're essentially tied for first right now. Behind them is the Reds, Steelers, Pirates, and Cardinals, all around 16 or 15 wins. So,
No,
it's a pretty good division this year so far in the
a
Central.
lot more competitive than given credit for at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think me and Logan talked about this before, but the Brewers are pretty much the Rays of NL, so they're always good in the beginning of the year and throughout the regular season. And if they ever sneak into the playoffs, they're usually kind of a one and done. Maybe they'll sneak by in a series, but
I wonder how they're going to be post Stearns now that he's in New York. Like, I wonder how. Obviously, he was a big part of the operation, but can they replace him in the brain trust? Does he have a protege? I don't know.
yeah, it'll be interesting how that division shakes out. I think in the end, it'll be the Brewers and Cubs obviously making the playoffs. The Reds might sneak in, but they're still a young team, and their offense is honestly really bad outside of Elly De La Cruz and a few other guys like Spencer Steer and Stuart Fairchild. Apparently, is like a god against the Padres. But anyways, moving on to the NL East, the Phillies look incredible so far this year. They're in first. The Braves obviously good every single year. They're in second, and then everyone else in that division is a little relevant.
My Babe Ruth, it gives me good luck.
Get that out of here.
Nah, dude.
We'll get to the AL East, all right? Tone it down.
Jeez,
Nationals 17 wins, Mets behind them at 16, then the Marlins too. We'll get into that in their fire sale and amazing trade to the Padres for Luis Arraez. Talk about that later. Moving on to the American League, the Mariners, who are always really kind of up and down, but their pitching has been insane so far this year. They're in first. Then it goes the Rangers, the reigning World Series champions, half game back from them. The Oakland A's. How about the Oakland A's? We should have a little discussion on them and their $50 million payroll.
I think that's being generous too.
Yeah, only 2.5 games back from first place of the AL West right now. And then the Astros scuffling like crazy. Their pitching staff is depleted. And then the Angels, who just got rid of Otani, or let Otani go, they're pretty irrelevant as well. Almost done here. AL Central, Cleveland Guardians in first. Their pitching and their hitting has always been pretty solid. And that division has been, as of recent, not good at all. Behind them is the Twins, who just ripped off 10-game win streak.
I think it was 12 because they beat the Red Sox a couple games, I think.
Oh, well, they lost today. It just ended. So
that's impressive.
Red Sox just snapped that. So
they're in second. Kansas City Royals have 20 wins. They're in third. They're tied for second. To talk about them too. Detroit Tigers.
Also Perez, man.
So that entire division has been pretty impressive. Besides, obviously, the White Sox. So
wow, that's pretty brutal. 8-26.
Yeah, a recent historically
run differential.
Yeah.
What's the all-time record for losses? Does anyone know? Like ballpark? Because 8-26. That's got to be on pace to break it.
Around 120.
Orioles probably pretty close a couple years ago or whatever, right?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
May without 10 wins is pretty impressive.
And then the podcast's favorite division, the AL East. Pretty much a juggernaut again this year, aside from the Blue Jays, who are
awful.
Them and the Rays. The Rays kind of falling back to earth. Their little nerd baseball is only going to get them so far, and it's kind of showing this year. Those two teams both under 500, and then first, obviously, the Orioles, who have spent the last 10 years rebuilding their team, finally getting the fruits of their labor there. Yankees have 1 game behind them, and then the Sox right in between the Yankees and the Rays in third. So
let's give a shout out to the Red Sox. They're a really feel good story. I know their fans have gone through a lot, so it's nice to see a team that has no aspirations finally, rip off some wins. It's a fan base that deserves it, for real.
Sometimes it's rough when you've just won so many times recently that you just expect to win. And then you go through a couple bad years, and it really just brings you back to reality. But, yeah, I expect
brings them back to the 1920, 80 year slump, not going to the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, that was super cool. Wasn't alive for that, so not really my problem. But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that was tough for some people. This has been a really tough 5-year drought so far. Yeah, I mean, you guys probably know a little bit about droughts, right? As Padres fans.
No, I wasn't alive.
Damn.
When was the last time you guys won?
As you mentioned,
I forgot.
Well, I wasn't alive.
Oh, how many of you guys won while you were alive?
I don't know, 60 more years, and we'll break the Red Sox record.
Oh well, I mean, you guys are pretty close. So, I don't know.
All right, you can attack the Padres a little later. That was aggressive.
I'm just saying, if he wants to come at us, just be a little more.
So what's on the agenda first? The biggest surprise?
I just wanted to say, Padres have 26 more years to end their World Series drought to beat the Red Sox 86-year drought. So we got 26 years. Hopefully we can do it soon. But the Red Sox still have us beat in the World Series drought.
We also have you beat
category.
World Series wins.
Because of Big Broidy.
It's about, what? 9 or so more than you guys? Because you guys have 0. That's why.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Give you that drought accolade and the wins accolade. We'll put those on the top of the list for discussion later.
Wait, Derek, what was that about? Why did we win?
They had a few of those back when there were 16 teams.
Okay, well, we've won a few more besides that, so I think
thanks to Big Roy.
I think that's something you want to address towards Mr. Temp up there.
All right, enough of the World Series discussion. It's only May.
Yeah, it's something
Get back into
Padres fans
that
aren't
in
exactly equipped to talk about
September.
anyway. So I get it. Yeah, we can move on.
We'll start with biggest surprise. This can be positive or negative around the league this year. This can be a player, a team, any managerial decisions, front office decisions, anything that's been very surprising in this first month of the 2024 season. Any takers? Anyone that want to get something off their chest?
You can lead it off.
Take it away, Temp.
My biggest surprise, I'm gonna say, is how much I love Alex Verdugo. You know, many
Good.
people that know me, I've never been the biggest fan of that guy, but man, the energy he's brought, 130 WRC plus or bat with the chains, the dogs, the barking in the dugout. Our team was really vanilla for the Judge era. The Judge era, Aaron Judge, big guy, but not a big personality. We needed some dogs, and he brought the dog mentality. Him and Marcus Stroman, they're rocking do rags out there. The whole energy is shifted. George Steinbrenner wouldn't want to see this, but I'm all in. The biggest surprise for me is just how bad Trent Grisham is. Padre fans did not warn me because that guy is god awful.
Well, I think we did warn you a little. He's got the elite defense, speed here and there. Doesn't really look like he's fast, but when you look at his numbers and his baseball savant, whatever, he's always been fast.
Yeah,
But man, is he just infuriating to watch at the plate with his passive approach. When he's got power, he's got pop. He'll hit 20 bombs, and every one that he hits is tanked.
Yeah.
But those are far and few between, those specific tanks. So
Yeah, so all in all, I would say the last thing is the Yankee starting staff definitely was a big question mark coming in, but they have outperformed all expectations, especially shout out Carlos Rodon and Nestor Cortez. They've looked pretty good.
I was going to say Luis Hill has been the biggest. Wow.
Yeah.
I picked him up on the fantasy baseball, and dude's kind of a dog. He throws gas, could change up. He's good.
I mean, when he came up in, I think, 21, he was electric, and then he was shut down. I think it was 22, and he had Tommy John. The stuff was obviously there, but as you said, if he can harness it, which he has been, in the zone, fastball that rises, he shut down the Orioles through 7 innings, I think, of no-run ball. I think he only gave up 2 hits or something. I mean, very impressive. So the big question for the Yankees is if Cole comes back, who gets moved to the pen? I think it's going to be Clark, but it's hard to send back Clark because he's been good. Maybe they move to a 6-man rotation. Who knows?
It would be wise nowadays with how pitchers are the running backs of the MLB, seemingly so. But yeah, I'm looking at Hill's baseball savant, and it's a lot of red I'm looking at. The only blue is the chase rate, so not many people are getting fooled, I guess, by his stuff.
Yeah.
And he seems to be walking a bit too much so far, but expected ERA, expecting batting average, whip percentage, K percentage, or I guess, what's the difference between chase and whiff? People are whiffing in the zone, but not out of the zone?
I think it's just swing and miss is
Whip is probably
whip,
just
and
total
then chase is out of the
overall.
zone. Yeah.
Okay.
So whip is anything they swing and miss at. Because his fastball definitely gets a lot of swing and misses. But that's usually in the zone.
So I guess it's overall his control has probably been up and down, if that makes sense. But yeah, he looks pretty solid, especially for he's your 5th starter.
Yeah, I mean, personally, which is kind of crazy, is that right now
the Padres 5th starter, which we'll get into.
Honestly, he's at the top of my trust list already. I mean, Cole's been speaking unbelievably about Hill. He says it reminds him of his Pittsburgh self, so that's high praise.
Yeah.
We'll see where that goes.
All right. Boston fan? Well, I'm assuming it's going to be something with the Red Sox, but your big surprise this year so far?
I can do a Red Sox one and then also a around the league one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just quickly around the league, something that's pretty surprising so far. I mean, the Astros have started slow before, but I feel like this year it's. I mean, I don't know if it's ever been this slow, like during this
Now,
era.
did you see that, like, at their current record right now? I think there was, like, maybe less than 5 teams in the history of baseball that have went on to make the playoffs
Yeah,
at their
that's.
current record.
I mean, I get like, it's not the same team, but I didn't expect them to be that bad that quick. I mean, maybe they can turn it around, but I don't know. That's something where I don't know if I expected that coming out.
But what's crazy about Houston to me is that going into the season, their bullpen was supposed to be like this juggernaut with Hader, or Presley.
He's looked shaky
Uh,
too.
dude, their big three. I forget the name of the third guy. The guy Abreu. So those three guys have combined for an ERA over 5.
Yeah,
And if you told me that at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't have believed you. So with their bullpen just being absolutely terrible, Verlander being down,
Their
a
whole
lot of their starting
rotation has
pitchers are
been
down.
hurt.
Yeah.
Their
So
pitching
like
been
it's
destroyed.
just a recipe for disaster. And combine it with Bregman's slow start, Alvarez has kind of been on a slow start. It's a recipe for disaster.
Hader's
But
a big
if any team can do it, it's the
contract,
Astros. Hmm.
like that's a big contract for him not to be performing. Like you
Did he
can
get
see,
more than
Was
Edwin
it like
Diaz?
the biggest reliever contract ever,
Wasn't it like 5/100, right, or something like that?
or did Diaz beat him
I think it
out?
was like 590 maybe. I think Diaz still has the top. I think.
Let's look it up. Yeah, Gators is 595,
95. Okay.
and then Diaz is 5102. So he's gotten beat by 7 million total.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
That's just crazy money for a closer.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged. I don't know if I wanted him at that money, but I was willing to spend on him and get rid of Kenley. But Kenley is like the weirdest player ever. I don't trust him at all, but he has like a 1.6 ERA so far. I think he's blown maybe one save. Yeah, I don't know. He's been doing okay, I guess. I think so. As far as the Red Sox, I mean, you have to say that starting rotation is the biggest surprise. I mean, to have the best ERA in the league, I don't think anyone would have guessed that.
That especially
I
with
sure
the
would
guys
not.
who've gone down. I mean, Bayo's been down, Pavetta's been down.
I mean, we got Cooper
Who else?
Criswell just tossing gems out there. That's insane. I mean, all glory to Andrew Bailey. I love that man with everything I have. He has completely saved us. It's incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like every day our starter goes at least 5 and they're giving up max 2 runs. So, I mean, as you can see through our record, it's given us a chance, especially with all these injuries.
Definitely a recipe for success. With the Mariners too, their starting rotation has been pretty insane. And outside of Luis Castillo, if I'm not mistaken, all those dudes are like homegrown guys.
Yeah.
I have to double
Very
check.
impressive.
Kirby,
It reminds me.
Miller.
Imagine if they just had any bit of offense outside of
Julio
Julio
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Dude, he has like a 6-something OPS right now.
Yeah.
Just his slugging is in like the 300s. I think I saw.
I think he's just streaky.
Yeah, but
Yeah, last year he ripped off like 30 games that completely saved his season last year. Remember? He was struggling, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
he had like 18 hits in a row or something crazy like that, and it jumped his OPS by like almost 200 points to end the season. So, I mean, that'd be very frustrating to watch, personally, if I was a Mariners fan.
I'd be starting to get frustrated about that because that's like last year. He's a young player. I think that was something where you're like, all right, it's not a big deal. He figured it out. The league adjusted him. He's adjusting back. But now to do it again this year for this long of a period of time, I don't know. I'd be a little worried. I mean, he's still providing value elsewhere, like through his base running. He's a fast dude, elite defense. But I don't know. It's just something.
Actually, his base running this year, he is fast, but on Savant, his run value is negative. It's like it's a 6.
Is it really?
His fielding value is a 98, so his fielding is insane. What's funny, like when you say the league adjusted to him last year, like just to put in perspective how crazy his second half was, he ended up with 32 home runs, 37 steals, and an 18 OPS, and I think he was like in the high 600s before August of last year or something like that, something crazy.
So, I don't know. Would you guys be worried as Mariners fans at this point?
I'd be worried anytime a guy of that stature slumps for that long. But since he's young, I would give him obviously more benefit of the doubt than like
He's
a
still
better
what,
player.
23?
23.
I think he's going to be fine.
I mean, you do have to take into account that the Mariners ballpark is the worst.
With up to 40 grams of protein, Muscle Milk helps build muscle.
And that's what I want. That's what I want to get into. So I guess I'll go next. My biggest surprise is Petco Park being, as of now, 6th in park factor this year across the
for hitters.
For hitters, which is
a
massive increase because historically Petco's been the bottom, right, a little bit better than the Mariners, which we just said,
they've been like
which is kind of insane. This year, the top being the Angels at 111, the Padres are 6th at 105, which that doesn't make any sense to me because, Padres marine layer in San Diego right by the water. Balls get knocked down at the warning track all the time. I don't know if this is like a signal of the Padres offense being just way better this year or the teams they played there being way better. I'm not sure what it is, but
did you guys didn't make any adjustments to the field in the offseason, did you? Still the same one from last year.
The one thing they did actually is change the batter eye. They got rid of the ivy. And now it's just, which it used to not have ivy. They changed it like a couple of years ago. They added like ivy in the batter's eye. Now that's gone. So I don't know if that's positively affecting batters and more hits and offense is being produced from that. But
I think it may be.
It's pretty impressive.
I think it may be just a one-off type thing.
Yeah, it's only May. So
that and, I mean, right now the Red Sox are, let's see,
13th.
Yeah, 13th. And
you guys are usually like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
What's Yankee Stadium at?
Well, the Yankees aren't they usually higher too? They're 28th, so they're almost
they're usually middle. Like that's like the connotation with Yankee Stadium is that it's a little league ballpark, but left field is so big, especially left center, that it brings its par factor down a ton. Like
league ballpark for right field, but
I mean the most Mickey Stadium in the league is definitely Houston.
Yeah.
The Crawford boxes, that's the worst by far.
And they're third best right now, so that's pretty accurate. But like the Mariners this year last as normal, but the Padres way up at 6, which is just kind of perplexing.
Number 1 so far, interesting.
But aside from that, biggest surprise for me, aside from the park factor, is Jackson Merrill. I mean, this dude been pretty incredible for coming up to the bigs at 20 years old, playing a brand new position that he's never played ever, and transitioning pretty smoothly. He did hit a little bit of a 2-week slump these past couple weeks, but just hit a bomb today. He's been hitting a little bit better the past 5 games. And I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise because we all were pretty high on him, the general consensus from Padres fans, but to see him actually produce at a above average level and given all the context and scenarios around him, it's been a very pleasant surprise. So
20 years old is crazy.
Yeah, just turned 21 a week ago or a couple weeks ago. But yeah, he's spotting 284 average. Slugging's not there yet. He's more of a slap hitter right now, so he only has 721 OPS, but fielding run values at 90 right now. Range 91. This is per Baseball Savant, so 90th percentile, 91st percentile. It's pretty speedy. But yeah, he's been anything you could ask for for some dude that came up as a shortstop and transitioned to the majors as a center fielder in his first year. So it's been great. D-Pow, got anything?
Well, for teams, the Astros definitely, which we already talked about. Then I guess I have a few players that have been surprising. Bohm has basically been like the MVP besides maybe Betts or Ohtani at the plate.
Prime Mark McGwire. It's insane.
Crazy. That's a crazy sentence to say to hear, but it's true. I mean, but to hear him listed with those names is insane.
He's been incredible.
I wonder. I don't know. Have you guys done like a deep dive into like his stats? Like, is it sustainable? Like, is he actually hitting the ball hard?
Could be a breakout year, even though he was already pretty good.
I don't know what his BABIP is, but
oh my god, dude, his Savant page is crazy.
Dude,
I know Savant isn't everything, but I mean, that means
I looked it up after he killed us in that series. He was getting like 3 hits every single game.
He's at the 100th percentile for batting run value.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't even realize he was doing this good. That's crazy.
He's not whiffing. XBA 97.
No, he's not.
I mean, he's got the makeup to be like an elite bat. I mean, he's 6'5", 220. He's in his prime right now, so.
Yeah, he was pretty good last year. You've always heard about late bloomers. I mean, he's 27, so I guess it's not that late, but that's
it's late in nowadays baseball. Yeah. Like traditional baseball, it's pretty accurate. But
hats off to the Phillies though for staying patient.
Yeah, I remember that clip of him like a couple of years ago when he was making errors in Citizens Bank Park. He's saying like, "I hate this place" and all this and that. Like, what a turnaround!
It's like this. They'll have no problem there.
Yeah, their lineup: Schwarber, Real Muto, Harper, Bohm.
Yeah.
I mean, Castellanos has still been. I don't know if he's been doing better, but I mean, but it doesn't really matter. They just need to. I mean, they need to plan something big to go down in the playoffs, and he'll be all right. Oh my god!
And then OBP, he's tied with Jurickson Profar for number 2 in the whole league.
Dude, that's another good surprise. Oh my!
Will Smith really jump-started that man.
7 years too late at the number 1 prospect.
$1 million contract.
Just took him into his 31-year-old season for him to fulfill his prophecy.
I don't really expect him to continue this, but he might make the All-Star team if he just keeps it up for half the season, which would be weird and surprising.
It would definitely earn him some money in the next few years.
He's on a 1-year deal, right?
1 year, $1 million. That's what we gave him.
That's crazy.
He's been our most productive.
The only player to ever play better on the Padres than a different team.
You know, AJ Preller thinks he's like Brad Pitt because he traded Juan Soto. And Profar's now in.
And got an equivalent production replacement.
Yeah, we'll recreate him in the aggregate.
Yep.
99 percentile batting run value for him. Man.
He's been good righty and lefty.
All right, next topic. We kind of touched on this, but I guess your team's biggest improvement that you've noticed so far and what you think they need to improve. So we'll start back off with Temp, Yanks.
So the Yanks,
what do they need to improve on?
I'm going to say, as a Yankee fan, any Yankee fan that's watched the team for the past ever has realized that under Cashman and especially Boone, there's been like seemingly a lack of urgency. Like days off, Boone punting games, bringing in relievers that should not be high leverage guys into spots because, we don't want to tire out the bullpen. But just something that I've noticed is that Aaron Judge and Juan Soto played every game this season. That's unheard of. To be this many games in and the Judge not have one rest day is pretty insane. Considering he's playing center field, and Brian Cashman said at the start of the season they're going to have a sense of urgency. I didn't believe it, but they've really shown that maybe things are finally starting to change. When you're leading or not leading, but tied with the whole league in wins, it's hard to find stuff to improve on. I mean, I'm sure other teams could. They're like maybe third place. But I would say right now we definitely need an upgrade at second base unless Gleyber Torres figures out that he's costing himself hundreds of $1 million potentially. Third base, I mean, Oswaldo's a fine player, but he's not an everyday player. At least I don't think he is. But he's been great for the Yanks. He has 20 RBIs. And maybe I think the bullpen would need some help. But other than that, I would say if I had to list them rank-wise, I'd say third is the biggest priority, second, and then bullpen help. So I'll pass it on to the middling AL East team.
Boston fan.
This might be a long list.
How's the Sox doing?
Oh, is there
Answer.
a Rays or
Fair answer.
is there a Rays or Blue Jays fan in here?
No, I said middling,
No,
which
yeah.
would mean like
so I was
third. Yeah, it's like your third place. That's middle.
Oh, you were trying to talk. Oh, okay.
If I said last place, I would have meant the Blue Jays.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just difference of
Okay.
3.5 games is a lot.
I think he got
but-
confused because like last place was Red Sox, so he's waiting for that. Past few years, that's my guess. But
Just confused why the Padres fans are talking, but anyways, what was the question again?
what do you think your team needs to improve on, and what they've done the best to improve upon so far this year? So pitching, obviously, kind of got that out of the way earlier, was been the biggest improvement.
Yeah.
But what needs the most improvement now?
So,
Probably your training staff, maybe.
Yeah, there's been just ridiculous amount
We
of
have some
injuries.
cardio equipment.
More stretching,
I just
Gatorade.
Nail polish.
he's not even playing right now, anyways. So, the bullpen is, I don't know if I want to call it shaky, but feels like we're maybe a guy or two short. Obviously, the health of the team is something that I don't know if you can improve on, but something that would be very helpful if they improved on, or just got some good luck with that. But the offense is something that I think they could use another right-handed bat. Grissom coming back today was a good start, but it's just you play in Fenway. Having another elite right-handed bat in the lineup for the future is something that I'd like to see them go out and do, whether that's at the trade deadline this year, if they're in it, or
An elite right-handed bat at the deadline. Who you have a target?
Pete Alonso could be available.
You're gonna stick him at DH.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I would. Yoshida, he's fine, but
I mean, not for a DH. I mean, you should want more production out of that.
I think he will produce more than he has right now. Obviously, he's hurt though, but I think Alonso would be a really good addition. I wanted to say Oscar. He would have been good.
Hilaire would have been good.
Yeah, I guess. He's been kind of rough, but that could be because he's in San Francisco. Justin Turner has been producing, which is
Yeah, I didn't get you guys not
frustrating.
re-signing him because he like was begging to come back.
Yeah, that, and we're paying him. We paid him $6 million to go play for another team, which is
Crazy
always nice. So
because he didn't even get that big of a deal from the Jays. It was like what, 1 year, $10 million
something like that, yeah.
or something like that. And so you guys, but I mean, I'm not trying to troll, but I mean, I didn't expect he had a lot in the tank, but he looked really good to start the year. Always an annoying bat.
That's the problem with having Yoshida on the team right now, because they don't want to put him in left field. They don't want him in the field at all. So he's on DH, and that kind of limits the right-handed bats we could have went out and got. I mean, O'Neal.
Yeah, but
O'Neal
Tommy Pham.
is huge.
it seems like you guys though were moving away from Yoshida though already. Like you guys were playing on that. Just how you guys stopped playing him after so little games.
It was because I don't know. It was kind of weird. It was partly because Devers was DHing, coming back from his injuries. So with him DHing, there was not really a spot for him. Like if we have a DH that's playing and it's not Yoshida, he doesn't really have a spot on the team. So it's kind of why he was sitting during that time period. Yeah, I don't know. Mostly, I would say another right-handed bat and maybe some bullpen.
You guys got Zach Short.
Yeah, he's probably gone.
There's your RH bet.
He's probably gone at the end of maybe the end of the week or something, because they have Rami Gonzalez. I don't know how you say it, but he's finishing up some rehab assignments. So he probably will come back and replace him. And then
They could do some retooling. They have a lot of those quick outfielders like Raf Artella, Blaze Duran. They could do some retooling and make some trades. Get some power.
Blaze for Pete Alonso would probably be. I don't know. I don't even know how I'd see that. Because Miguel Blaze's ceiling is like actually insane. But I don't know if he'll ever reach that.
But you hear about those prospects all the time, especially like the ones that are signed internationally. Like,
well, yeah, you do.
it's just they're so hard to project.
Like, his exit velos as like an 18-year-old were like almost MLB ready. That's not really something you see all the time. So he was a little different in that sense. But I mean, if there was a great player that he's being sent for him, I wouldn't really complain. But I'm not, just because he had like a shoulder injury last year that took him out for the year. I don't really necessarily want to sell low just because of that. So
yeah, I think that's fair.
But yeah, right-handed bat, maybe some bullpen help would be something I'm looking for, and just hopefully the team to not like half the team to get injured again. So that's where I'm at basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like more righty power play at Fenway overall. So
yeah, I mean, you see it with guys like Hunter Renfroe, O'Neal. They come here and.
I mean, O'Neal's been insane. That guy's been
he's
extremely impressive. What's the? It was just a 1-year deal?
Or
like like an option or something?
I believe he's a free agent this year. I'm
kind
of torn on whether I want him back or not.
Contract year, he's going to be trying extra hard.
If he stays healthy all year, I mean, I don't know how much he'll command.
If he stays healthy all year, I mean,
like if he keeps, I don't think it's realistic to have over 1,000 OPS for him, but
I mean, he could be in the 900s though.
Yeah,
might have a bit of a Stanton problem. He's too big.
Yeah,
all those muscles to be torn easily.
To be fair to O'Neal, I've never seen a man like Stanton who looks as big as he does, as jacked as he is, that's actually the most fragile. Like, just watching him run physically hurts. And O'Neal's still pretty fast and still a great fielder. So, I mean, maybe I'll play him later, but I think O'Neal's like, 30 already?
28.
So it's not like he's 28? I think he's young.
I was surprised by that too.
Yeah. I thought he was like 30-ish. Yeah, well, maybe.
We'll probably get like a 3 or 4 year deal then. He keeps it up.
I mean, I wouldn't he's the type of guy where I wouldn't be mad if he gets extended, but I wouldn't be necessarily mad if they decide to look elsewhere, just because of the injury history. If he didn't have the injury history, I mean, I'd be all in, but it's something you do have to consider.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason he's only had a year like this once before.
Well, for the Padres, our starting rotation is by far, in a way, the biggest need. Darvish already had an IL stint. Musgrove just got put on the IL with tricep tendonitis.
It's always good.
They say it's precautionary, but
I'll be back mid-25.
yeah, knowing the Padres' injury history, their honesty can always be questioned in terms of that. So, and then it
Typically,
leaves
they'll
us
wait
with,
like 4 months for an MRI, and then they confirm that they need Tommy John.
yeah, they'll try to rehab it, do whatever they can to get him any innings, and then it all goes downhill from there. So I'm pretty sure Darvish had this issue like 4 or 5 years ago, and he went on the IL, came back, and then like a month later, he was done for the year. So
He ended up getting Tommy John or no?
I don't think it was
It's like
Tommy John.
bone spur or something. I don't know.
It was something else, but yeah, I was looking into that once I saw that it was the tricep tendonitis, and I wanted to see like if there's what other players had been through
It's
that
Joe.
and everything. So
I mean, I just want a special shout out before we continue. Shout out Tara Musgrove, my fellow coworker. This must be a
right.
tough time. Yeah, so I'm gonna see her at work. I'll give her your guys' condolences.
Thank you.
Is that the one with the
Needs-
interesting tweets?
I don't know what
10
you're
years
referring
ago?
to, but yeah.
Other than that, we have Cease, who's
Don't know,
been
but yeah.
electric outside of one start against the Phillies, who've just been destroying everyone. So I kind of ignore that one. It was a one-off, wrote it off. He's been incredible. He's going to be Cy Young runner as long as he stays healthy. And then 4 and 5 have been Michael King, who's been either really good or really bad, no in between. So he's not very reliable.
Okay.
And then Matt Waldron, who shouldn't be in the MLB because his stuff sucks and he's just a knuckleball merchant, but he can throw the first strike maybe 1 out of 10 times. And if good teams see that, which good teams will be in the playoffs no matter what, he's going to get lit up and he shouldn't even be pitching in that scenario. So he's got rocked today by the Diamondbacks, 8 earned runs or something in 3 innings.
Yikes.
So that dude, I mean, he'll give you innings against a bad team, which is fine in the regular season, I guess, but he's not part of the future, shouldn't be, and shouldn't be on the roster by, I'd hope, August. And that's being generous. So the rotation's the biggest issue. We have
Depth.
some starting depth with some of the dudes we got in the Juan Soto trade with Brito and Vasquez, but they have not been that impressive so far at all.
Experience, yeah.
Rito hasn't looked good? Like, honest question.
His
Brito
stuff looks
good.
okay, but he gets no whiffs. So I don't know if he
Yeah,
needs to like
real
switch
sinker
up his... Yeah, most of his sinkers are like up in the zone. So I don't know, team guys are just sitting on his fastball. So, and they've been pitching him out of the bullpen primarily, like in any kind of role you can imagine, high leverage, low leverage, cleanup, anything. And he just doesn't look comfortable. I think they should just try him as a starter and just run him out there, especially with Musgrove down.
Yeah, the
Just
injuries.
work him up. And then Vasquez just got called up with the Musgrove IL stint. So I'm assuming they're going to be giving him a chance too, again. But overall, rotation, not in great shape outside of Dylan Cease. It's really going to stall any kind of winning streak because the offense has honestly been like pretty good, like top 10 MLB offense so far this year in terms of the numbers and run scored and batting average, whatever, slug. So
It is one thing about the Padres that's interesting that just happened is like what you said that your guys' offense is pretty good, but your pitching is falling apart. And it seems like Preller just, I don't want to say shot the rest of your guys' farm system, but with all the injuries you guys had, I think would be them. I mean, I don't know how good your farm still is or how much you're willing to dip into it, but adding another middle infielder as good as he is as a leadoff hitter instead of maybe going after a starter, that's a interesting decision. So they must have some plan.
yeah, I mean,
But
I just can't even imagine what they would have looked like if they didn't trade for Dylan Cease to the day before the season started. Like,
yeah,
the rotation would just be a dumpster fire, and he'd be out of a job probably the end of this year, no matter what. But I mean, we do have some pitching prospects that have been decent. That it says ETA on the ranks for next year. But I mean, given what the depth is looking like now, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these dudes this year, even within a few months, depending on the health of Musgrove and the other guys. So
Cease looks great this year. He looks like an ace.
Dude, he looks incredible.
He is our ace right now.
I wanted Dylan Cease too,
Yeah, he looks.
but not for
confirm this.
not for Spencer Jones.
Yeah.
Well, what did they ask for? Like
They asked for
Steven
Spencer
Wilson,
Jones.
average reliever, and who'd we give up?
Javier Arte, who's been like lights out. He's been he might be really good. And
He might
We had
be
the
good.
Yankee tax.
It's just
Yeah,
I hate
just
the Padres so much, dude. Like the Yankees literally would be like under 500 without Soto right now. And you guys got Michael
remember-
King for him. Like just
Remember how, Logan? Remember how you said when we traded for Soto? Oh, well, you think one player's gonna add 8 wins? Oh, that's fucking stupid. And now you're like, they'd be under 500 without it. We're 10 games over. So by that logic, he's already added 10 plus wins, and I totally agree. One player, when he's that
what was your record-
generational,
what-
can't.
What was your record last year?
It was like 84 wins, 80. What would that be, like 79
They didn't really have
losses or something?
Judge.
So
And Judge has been
5
terrible.
games over 500. So he's added
10 games.
5 wins.
10 games. We're 10 games over 500.
Yeah. So, but you were 5 over 500 last year. So it's added 5.
No, I'm talking about what would be.
And I said it wouldn't add 20 or something wins to whatever the Orioles
No,
were.
because I was
Yeah.
talking. I was talking
I said
about
whatever the Orioles were in first place.
No,
It's not going to get you to above them.
that's
has
definitely not
been-
what you said
which has
because I have
been
I
true so
have the
far.
screenshot.
It's been true so far.
I have the screenshot.
Has that
You're
not been
wrong.
true?
I'm gonna put if chat. I'm just saying you can
Has
go
that-
to our
has
Twitter
that not been
page.
true?
That's not up yet. Well, no, because you're editing what you said. It's
Okay,
fine.
No, but
It's fine. Like I don't expect you to stay true to your word, but that's why I take screenshots. You were talking about the Yankees being a 90-win team. You said that was one player isn't going to add that.
Why would I care if the Yankees are a 91 team when the Orioles won 100? Like what was?
Well, because that's the difference between being a playoff team and not.
No, I
So
didn't.
that is a big difference.
No, I was saying whether you win the division because you said it's taking over the division.
I just want. I mean, to be fair, the division. Of course, you want to win the division, but with how many playoff teams there are, it's not as big. I mean, it definitely is a huge advantage, but I mean, as we've shown, the MLB playoffs definitely is a crapshoot. Getting to the playoffs is the most important thing, whether it's division, wild card. Of course, you want to win a division, but just to get there is the goal. To get into the dance.
Regardless, thanks for literally nothing, Padres. Thank you.
Sorry, man. Our owner died. Nothing we can do.
I was having this
So that
conversation the other
means you
day.
just trade away your generational player. I mean, it's okay though. It's not like C.J. Abrams or those kind of guys. Or
Bucks could have got him for
Why are we
I-
catching strays? What is this about?
Cause it's just ridiculous, man. Soto
I mean,
is the only reason they're winning.
can we? He's not the only reason. I think having the third best starter ERA in baseball would help do that.
Yeah, but even with that, your offense is terrible.
The offense is terrible, but I don't. It's not terrible. It's definitely not like as bad as you're making it out to be.
It
But
would be
Soto
terrible
definitely is the
without
biggest
Soto.
cog. It definitely without the biggest cog, but
So
Judge,
say you didn't get
with
Soto,
even
where
his
would
list-
you have gone?
no, I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying is that I don't think the team would be as bad as you make it out to be. I think they would probably have a similar record to you guys.
I think you guys would be like close to last place if you guys didn't have Soto.
I disagree entirely.
Based
But
on?
hey, this is a free country. You're free to say whatever you want, and you definitely abuse that right a lot. I applaud it.
What exactly gives you any evidence that they wouldn't be? Without
I
Soto?
mean, dude, how can I? So we're gonna start fighting hypotheticals now?
No.
Like, am I supposed to peek?
We're not fighting. I don't know. I'm
Like,
just
I
saying.
can't. I can't tell you what would happen. But the reality is we traded for him, and that's the Yankees.
You
You know,
didn't have
being
any-
proactive.
You didn't have any ideas of what you could do if you guys didn't pull that off.
Well, if the trade for Soto didn't go down, I wanted Kepler and another lefty bat, but not like a big name.
Yeah,
Because
that's
to
what I'm
be
saying. Is like,
honest, when Peter Seidler was still alive, I did not think the Padres were going to trade him, and I don't think they would have done. So, from a Yankee conundrum point, it's a moral question.
what?
What?
All right, Derek,
Oh.
you got.
I mean, I guess the same as yours about the Padres.
Yeah,
I think technically we do have starting pitching depth, but none of them have experience.
yeah.
Brito's never been a starter yet, full time.
Yes, he has.
Neither is Vasquez, not full time like a full season.
Well, I mean,
So I mean,
I
technically
just
we
to
have
be fair
depth,
to
but
him,
just no experience yet.
These
he
are the players
was very
you guys
good
got.
in the first half.
Besides that, I mean, just prospects like Adam Azera, I think is 23. He should be ready to come up next year.
Yeah.
He's good in the minors, in Double-A each year. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna have good pitching
You guys
depth
have
until
any
next
trade
year.
targets?
Probably not. I don't think
I
we're
was
gonna.
looking at the starting pitchers who are free agents next year. So theoretically, they would be, available at the deadline.
Mm.
I don't know. There's just not much.
But
I mean,
it
I'm just going to
depends
throw
on.
this out there because
I mean,
AJ
I see like
Preller is kind of a cokehead.
Well, if he thinks
He
his
goes and
job's in
gets Sonny
jeopardy,
Gray. Just fuck
he's
it.
gonna get
Yeah,
some.
dude. I mean, if the Cardinals are falling off,
Sonny
Sonny Gray
Gray.
would be like a great piece to dangle. Yeah, I mean, if the Cardinals, their team is old. I think they have the oldest roster in baseball, and they need to reload. So I honestly believe that the Cardinals, still where they are now, like it trends that way. They should have a fire sale. Like I don't know if they're willing to do that, but they definitely need to.
The problem with that is we're operating under a non-Peter Seidler ownership, and the new guy is like certified accountant, so it's just all about the numbers and money. And we've been past the luxury tax, whatever thing, past 2 years, and it's trying to stay under this year. Sonny Gray just signed a 3-year deal, $75 million. So I can't see him signing off on that if they were to do that, unless Cardinals eat some of that, which I doubt they will if they're trying to sell. Which I mean, I don't know.
According to the two
Depends if
balls
the owner's willing
finance
to
guy,
eat it.
Naka, he says Padres have about 24 million to work with at the deadline, without going over the tax for the year.
So you get the Cardinals to eat about $7 million. I mean, there's definitely
And then
ways
try
you
to
can
flip
swindle
him
it. But,
after the year's over.
I mean,
Because he's still got 2 more years after that. And those
I believe Sonny Gray's the type of pitcher that will
big
age pretty
numbers.
well.
Yeah. It's just, this all comes down to giving these egregious contracts out to 30-year-old players, i.e.
Yeah, that Bogarts really
Bogarts,
handicapped you guys.
i.e. Machado, which Darvish, it's just the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
We're still paying Hosmer's $13 million this year. It's ridiculous. So, and next year.
The Yankees are
How-
still paying Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, it goes away after next year.
How does AJ
Yeah.
Preller have a job? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean it's
Because he found Tatis. I think that's what.
pretty much. Pretty much.
You
I'm
imagine
looking
that
at-
James Shields trade never went down?
Dude, I don't know where this franchise would be, but
Same
I mean, I'm
spot.
looking at another name like Jack Flaherty has a decent start to the year. He's in Detroit. I don't know what they've been decent this year, so they might not even want to do that.
They've been good.
Yeah.
Maybe a Miami pitcher, but they're mostly all hurt. I don't know if you guys have the ammunition for Luzardo. I don't think you guys do.
I mean, he was rumored to be one of the targets along with the Rise before the season started, but now that he went on the IL with some arm thing, he's probably off the table. I mean, maybe the Red Sox are willing to part ways with Pivetta. I don't know.
Why would we do that?
If you guys fall off, I'm saying, if there's no chance, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if you guys slow down.
We do Pivetta for Silas or something.
Okay. anyways, I mean, the rest of this list is pretty gross, or dudes that just won't be traded.
You know how I think would be a sneaky pickup that I want the Yankees to get, like I think pitching wise, is Patrick Sandoval.
Yeah, where was he?
I mean he's been pretty brutal this year, but I think it's in the end it all comes down to coaching, especially with obviously the pitching coaches and what they can do if they put him in the lab, especially in today's game. Because Patrick Sandoval has nasty stuff and he's been good in the past. It's just a matter of going to an organization if it's not the worst in baseball, which I think the Angels are. If they're top three worse, I would say White Sox, them, Marlins, no order, but you could definitely pick something off them.
Yeah, I mean, starting pitching market, not the greatest for this trade deadline upcoming, which teams always need more starting pitching, so maybe, I mean, just no one really moves the needle, you know?
Yeah.
There's, Kikuchi on the Blue Jays.
He's actually really fucking good.
He's only due $12 million,
He's
so that'd be
annoying
like
as hell.
less than $6 million at the deadline. I don't know. Blue Jays seem like they want to make the playoffs, like theoretically, but they're not doing too hot to start the year so far. So
it's insane how the Blue Jays' entire core just fell off a cliff.
And they're huge.
I mean, Bo Bichette, terrible.
They're number one in BMI.
Only South and
Canadian bacon.
Yeah. So, all right. We'll finish off with more trade targets we'll go the Yankees and then finish off with the Sox, and then we'll get this thing wrapped up. So,
well, I think the Yankees,
in addition to Sandoval,
have maybe one of the best trade deadlines ever, and it won't even come down to trades because when you look at it, the Yankees have already been probably outperforming a lot of people, especially when it comes to pitching. So they can add a Garrett Cole to the staff. Let's say, just for argument's sake, it's a healthy Garrett Cole, no restrictions. That alone is probably the biggest addition they could ever have done, even from an outside perspective. But the team that's been doing good. Add Son Dominguez, who could either replace Verdugo, who, has been good. I don't think he'll get replaced. I think it's more likely that Stanton will get replaced, especially because they probably don't want Dominguez to field. That alone strengthens the lineup and the rotation. But I think third base is the biggest need. I would say Bregman would be an interesting target to look at. Expiring deal. Probably the Astros don't want to re-sign him. The Astros seem like their owner has no willingness to go spend big bucks. Like Kyle Tucker is expected to leave. I don't know. I think he's a free agent after next year, or I think it's after next year.
I'm pretty sure he's a free agent this year.
So Bregman
after the season
or this year, yeah. So they definitely won't sign Bregman. I think they'll try to keep Tucker. I mean, that's what they should do. I would say Jigger on the Marlins. He's hurt right now. He's always been an above-average bat. The Yankees, especially with their pitching that relies a lot on ground balls, I think will go after a man who's pretty terrible in the field, who's more suited to be a DH or first baseman. Honestly, I think because with the really terrible third base, Bregman makes sense. And then, again, it's crazy, but it's no wacky year. Alex Verdugo, never in the million what I thought would have been a Yankee. So maybe what the Yankees need is just more assholes. And I can't think of a bigger asshole than Alex Bregman. So that's who I want. Bring Bregman to the Bronx, and they can win 28. Reverse the curse. Be the perfect thing. Shout out Clay Holmes.
All right. Alex Bregman. That's quite a bit of a hot take.
It felt disgusting to say, but
Yankees
just trying to win.
Yeah, I mean, Verdugo kind of set the stage for that one in terms of talking about enemies joining your team. So,
I mean, but look at Stroman
other
too.
than Babe Ruth. So, I mean,
I mean, Stroman had me blocked on Twitter, as well as thousands of other Yankee fans.
Profar has me blocked.
And as soon as he signed, he went through. What could you say to Jerks and Profar that would get you blocked?
It was a video.
I mean, maybe don't answer that. Maybe don't.
Oh no, it's a great story.
But
I motivated
Yeah,
him to.
okay, well then.
I think it
What
was
did you say?
21, and April, May, he was horrible. If you look at the stats, he was batting like less than 200 at that point. And then he made a terrible error out in left field this particular game. So I sent him that video of, "You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy." And I at him on Twitter, except it had some loud moaning in the background, a bit of an ear rape. And so he must have pulled that up in the locker room or something, because he blocked me for that.
Tommy Pham probably heard and
But-
beat the shit out of him.
After that, he betted like 350 the next month, so I motivated him.
All right.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
Lastly, to wrap it up, Sox targets. I know Logan wants Willy Adames as a short-term rental. I don't know if the Brewers are going to do that, but
When did I
Remember
say
that?
that?
question. I've seen it on your Twitter feed, man. You've seen it.
Really, I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but I don't remember saying that. Pete
Yeah.
Alonso would be.
I thought you did. I thought you mentioned Adames once or twice, just as like
I
a
don't.
filler with story out. So
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I guess put him at short or third. Devers could DH at that point. I mean, Yoshida becomes an expensive bench bat, but team would be better. But Adames would be cool, I guess. I mean, Alonso would be a really good fit.
what do you though?
Alonso and Fenway.
DH only though.
I mean, we don't really need people in the field. We need just good hitters.
I know, but
Well, let me ask you this right now.
fastest
Blyce,
return. It's gonna be him and like you got picked between the two, and they're both super young and like sluggers.
Wait, who? What'd you say?
I said if you end up theoretically getting Pete Alonso, he's like what? How old is he? 25 only? 26?
no, he's I think a
He's
little older
He
than
gets
that.
25.
I thought
I'm gonna
he-
guess 29. Let me see.
Oh wow, I was way off. I thought, yeah,
It was a 25-year-old
Oh, is
rookie.
he must have been a
Oh, I
late
was
bloomer
right.
then. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, he came up late. Okay, yeah, he's 29.
Who,
Anyways.
who are you saying he was competing with?
I would say theoretically, if you got him, it would be him and Costas butting heads for first base, and you can't really platoon them because they're everyday guys.
You
So-
would just put him at DH,
Okay, all right,
and then just deal with Yoshida. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe throw a prospect with him, trade him.
I'm sorry, man, but this Pete Alonso is so overrated.
I mean, I don't think he's some
Oh.
superstar, but he's gonna be.
He hits
He's-
bombs.
He's gonna hit bombs. He's gonna have an OPS 800 in the 800s. So,
I remember when there was talks that he was better than Aaron Judge.
and then, dude, he's going from being on the Mets to playing in Fenway. I mean, as a right-handed hitter.
Yeah,
So let's say right now, the
That's
Mets
Logan
call
will
you
go
and they
up.
say
I mean, if
Blaze for Alonso. You say yes?
what's Alonso's contract
he's a free
situation?
agent, that's the problem.
He'd be a
Yeah, he's a rental.
half year rental.
But I
essentially.
mean, you guys could re-sign him.
I would extend him for sure. If I knew he was gonna be extended, yeah, I would. So,
But you know he wants more than Freddie Freeman.
I mean, everyone wants things. Montgomery wanted Aaron Nola money.
It wants a
I'm
home
just
run
excited to
derby
see the Juan
bonus.
Soto deal.
Who's his agent? Is it Boris?
Boris.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, dude? The market got completely obliterated this past season. So
I don't think that'll be a problem for Soto.
It seems like teams are colluding.
oh, 100, dude, 100%.
Well, what I'm saying about Soto is like everyone thinks I know Soto's going to get paid a ton. Like I'm not debating that. I think it's going to be over 500. But his market, as great of a player as he is, how many teams realistically are going to swim in those waters? And I don't think the Mets and Yankees are dumb enough to bet against themselves, especially Stearns. Like I know Stearns, like everyone can say, oh, he has an unlimited budget, but Stearns has been known to like certain things. And Soto, as much as a great player, and I think the Mets are going to go very hard after him, does not fit what David Stearns usually likes in an outfielder. So Soto,
Yeah,
we'll see.
his contract journey is definitely going to be second to none, other than Otani's. In recent years.
It's gonna be very annoying because he probably won't even sign until like February, March, even.
Yeah,
Because Boris is like this is Boris's last chance to really like mega deal. So we'll see what he can get him.
yeah.
Dodgers.
I mean, they're gonna get Sasaki.
The Dodgers sign him. Defer money.
That'd be
I think the only teams that'll be on Soto are those that are fine with spending $200 million plus every single year because he's just going to hinder a mid-market team too much.
Yeah,
They're not gonna
as I
have
said, his market's small.
Sox would be a
It's
good fit
Yankees.
if they decide to wake up, but you never know with them.
They have one of the highest team values.
Who?
Sox.
No, dude, the Sox can easily afford it. It's just whether Henry decides he wants
I mean,
to care about winning again.
just from a fit, it doesn't make sense to get Soto.
Oh.
I know he's a great player. You can't go wrong with it, but like you guys already have a bunch of lefties. Like your best bats are lefties. You guys need righties.
You can trade bats.
And what are you gonna do? Have Casas, Devers, and Soto 3-4 or 2-3-4, three lefties in a row. Wilmer Abreu, another lefty. Who's gonna split them up?
I mean, you don't really.
Duran lead off.
When you're, I mean, you can get you can get rid of Duran.
You could sign Alonso,
yeah,
trade Cassis.
I wouldn't do that, but you can, dude. When those three players are Devers, Soto, and Cassis, like it doesn't really matter if they're lefties. They hit everyone regardless at an elite level. Especially
yeah, but sure, you still don't.
Soto's swing fits Fenway perfectly too.
Okay, but we're talking about realistic teams that can sign. You guys have shown no inkling to dip into that.
I mean, they just spent $300 million on Devers. It's clear that they can when they want to. They just offered Yamamoto $300 million.
Yeah, but he's gonna get 500.
Dude, you're acting like the Red Sox are a broke team. It's not about whether they can; it's about whether they want to.
Well, every team in baseball could sign Juan Soto. That's not a problem. Yes, they could. Yes, every team with a billionaire owner could afford to spend $50 million.
And they couldn't afford the rest of their roster.
Yeah,
I mean, they could. It's just a matter of not wanting to. There's a difference between that.
No, I think there is like
John
their
Henry.
actual operating costs would not be enough.
Yeah.
Like a team like
If $50 million
A's,
hamstrings then A's realistically.
a team like the A's would they don't get enough in ticket sales to offset that cost.
I'm just saying, like, you know how much the Mets lost in total revenue last year? It was they were minus $200 million in the hole.
Yeah, not every
So,
I don't know if there's
much
many
as you-
teams that can or any teams that can do that.
I'm saying,
Maybe he'll get
so
a
as much as you come,
Otani type deal.
is he willing to? I think so. The firms. Seems like
Yeah.
Wants willing to defer.
Is he lagging for you guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, call up your internet provider.
Yeah, Bobby, let's figure it out, man.
So uncivilized.
All right, well, probably wrap it up here. We'll get Temp. We'll get a AT&T or a Cox guy over to his house ASAP.
I'm back.
This is bad, man. This is bad luck.
Scott Boris fucking throttled me.
All right, Temp, you want to send us away?
It'll be all right, Scott. It'll be all right. But anyway, we're starting a In Between Two Balls Twitter account. Feel free to follow. Link will be in description. And we'll leave it to Luke to take it away.
Merch coming soon. Merch coming soon.
Yeah, we got a great logo, specifically designed.
It's beautiful.
We'll get that plastered all over the T-shirts and hoodies and etc. So
2 baseballs can't be better.
yeah,
We might have a T-shirt in the works to donate to a good cause. Keep your eyes on that.
Yeah. Stay on the lookout for that. Absolutely.
yeah. Thanks for listening to the In Between Two Balls Baseball Talk podcast.